Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the fourth day of TSACP Algo Week that is hosted by GDG BMSIT. It's really good to have you guys here. Myself, Niharika, I'm a member of GDG as well as I'll be instructing you guys today. And with me, I have Vivek Sharma. He's also a member of GDG and he'll be assisting me today. We have the QR codes here, so that's a link for our LinkedIn profile. You all can view us there. And today, our topic for today is binary search. So, what is binary search? We'll be talking about this. So, we'll start with talking about what is searching, right? So, searching is something that you do in an everyday basis, like you search for your books or you search for a pen or anything. But here we learn how to search smartly and in a technical manner. And today we'll be, like I said, we'll be learning about searching. We'll be learning what is the difference between linear search and a binary search, and we'll see why binary search is smarter. We'll solve a problem. We'll talk about the real life uses and complexities, as well as we'll have a small quiz in the end. So like I said before, what is searching? Let's start at the beginning. In computer science, searching is nothing but a process to find a specific item or a target within a collection of items, which we call a data structure. Like, for example, we will have an array or a list, and we'll have a target element. So, searching is where we are finding where the target element is, like what is the index of the target element. So when I say collection, it can be anything, like I said array. It can like either be like a list of contacts in your phone, or like 8 million web pages that is there on Google, or maybe an entire library of songs in Spotify. And target is, let's imagine you want to search for your friend's number. So you go to your phone app and then you type their name, and you get their number, right? So that is called searching in your contact book phone. So basically, we will be finding a solution where you can search in a very productive and efficient manner. So when we talk about an algorithm, what do we think? So basically, an algorithm has two primary goals here. One is if the target is found. If the target is found, it will tell you where the target is. Like it will return the index of the target. But if the target is not found, what does it do? It has to report to us that it is not found. So what is the problem with searching, right? Like imagine we have 10 elements in an array. We can just check each number and like find where our target is. But imagine like if it is 10 million or 10 billion numbers, we can't go through each one, right? So that's where the challenge occurs. Or imagine like if you're on Spotify and if you're searching for a song, if Spotify like goes through each song to search for a song, it will take like 30 minutes, and we'll just stop using that app because we'll think it's broken. So that is the problem. And one searching methodology is linear search. So what is linear search? It's exactly how it sounds. Linear search is where we have an array of elements, and we have a target also, right? So it will go from one element to another and checks if that is the target. So let us take an example. I'll take 1, 6, 8, 10, 18, 22, 35, and let us consider my target element is 22. So what do I do? First I'll check if my first element is 22. If not, I'll go to the next. So this is one step. 2, 3, 4. I still haven't gotten 26. It's not equal to 22. Not equal to 22. Equal to 22. 18 is not equal to 22. And then now we have 22. And now I'm finding the solution. This is exactly what linear search means. It goes in a uh, horizontal way, and it iterates to each and every element in an array, and it will search for your right answer, and then it will return the index, and the return index will be 5. So then we know that uh, the 22 is in the fifth index. And now we have binary search, the star of the show. So what is binary search? How does it work, right? So binary search is a very smart way to find something, but this has to be in a sorted array. The word sorted is very important because we'll see why is it in further. So we'll talk about how binary search works. So I'll take an example. Like I said before, we need to take a sorted array. So let me take an example of 7 elements. So I'll take 2, 4, 8, 9, 11, 16, and 18. Let us solve it manually first. And 2 is an index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what we are doing in binary search is we will search the middle element first. And oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to set the target. Let our target be 11. So what we do in binary search is we don't iterate from the beginning. We directly jump to the middle element. To find the middle element, we do the first index plus the last index divided by 2. So here we'll have 3. So the element in the index is equal to 3, and the element there is equal to 9. And we'll check if 9 is equal, and there are like three possibilities. Possibility 1 is if 9 is equal to 11. Second possibility is if 9 is greater than 11, and the third possibility is 9 is lesser than 11. So is 9 greater than 11? No. Is 9 equal to 11? No. Is 9 greater than 11? No. Is 9 less than 11? Yeah. So here what we do is we eliminate the complete left subarray, because we know that every element coming before 9 is usually lesser than 9, right? Because we are using a sorted array. So we can completely eliminate every element here, and we can only focus here. And again, here in these three elements, we'll again go to the middle element, that is 16. So now we do the same thing. Here we know 16 is greater than 11. So we know that every element that is coming after 16 is also greater than 11. So we can eliminate this as well. And we can come to this, and then we'll be finding our product, like the answer we need. It uses something called a divide and conquer strategy, and this is very productive to us because we are basically eliminating subarrays once we know that our element is greater or lesser than whatever is required. We have it here, see. So first we start in the middle of the array, and then if our middle of the array is the target, and so we return found with the index. If the middle element is smaller than your target, if it is smaller than our target, then it will go to the right half. If not, it will search the left. The same thing continues till the array is empty. And if we do not find the target, then it will return 0 or -1 or a message called not found. Now, um, let me take an example, guys. Okay, I'll take up an example here only. The difference between binary search and linear search. So I'll take 1, 6, 7, 9, 11. This is for linear search. And here also I'll take 1, 6, 7, 9, 11. Okay, yeah. So I'll tell you the difference between linear search and binary search here. So let's take the same set of numbers. We'll take 7, 9, 13, 14, 16, 18. And we'll put them inside boxes because they're arrays. And we'll give indexes for each one, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let our target element be again 16. So in linear search, what do? We first start with 7, right? So we check with 7. If 7 is equal to 16, if not, we'll move to the next one. So we already have one instruction. And then we'll check if 9 is equal to 16, it's not equal to 16. Then if 13 is not equal to 16, and then we check 14, and then we come to 16. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're like iterating 4 times, and all 4 times we're checking if the element is equal to get element. So we are taking a total of 4 steps here. But then when we come to binary search, first we find the our mid equal to 2, and mid element is equal to our target is equal to 16. So we know that 13 is lesser than 16. So guys, remember what are the three things we've learned. We'll check if the element is equal to target, or if the element is lesser than target, or if the element is greater than target. So here is satisfied with this. Our element is lesser than target. So what do we do if our element is lesser than target? We completely this is our mid, right? We completely discard the left subarray because we know that every other element like 7 or 9 is always lesser than 16, right? So we can always discard the left subarray. So that is the exact I said. Sorting the array is very important. Binary search does not work on an unsorted array. So it is an element is less than target. So what are we doing? We are completely discarding the left subarray. Now we'll come to the right subarray. Here we have from indexes 3, 4, 5, 14, 16, and 18. Here our mid element is 16. So we'll check if 16 is equal to 16, and then it is true. So let us see the code for this, guys. I'll show you guys the code. First we include the standard library, and then I'm giving the usual header functions, guys. Now I'll write a function for this binary search. Let my function name be binary. I'm calling an array arr, and then I'll take the size of the array from the user, and we obviously need the target, right? So we're taking that. And then, so in an array, guys, the first element is always the index of the first element is always 0, right? So I'm initializing low is equal to 0 because low here is the index of the first element, and int high is my index of the last element. So basically, since the indexing starts from 0, the last element's index will always be the size of the array minus 1. So I'll do size minus 1. Size is an attribute that I've already taken from the user. And now I'll go to a while loop. While low lesser than or equal to high. So what does this mean, guys? While low less than or equal to high means there has to be at least one element present in the array. If low is greater than high, then there's nothing present in the array, right? So if low is lesser than high, then there is a low element, the starting index, and there's a high element that is whose index is more than the low index. So which means that there are elements. If low is equal to high, then there is only one element which can or cannot be the target. And but if low is greater than high, then it means there are no elements left. So we have to find the mid element because that's where we're starting our search, right? Remember, low plus high divided by 2. This is how we usually find the mid element, right? So we add the lowest index and the highest index, and then we take the average of it, which gives us the mid element. And then now here the checking process starts, guys. So we're checking if ARR is our array, right? So array of mid is equal to target. So what do? We return mid. Here mid is nothing but the mid index, guys. Here we're not returning the element, but we're returning the index. High and low are also indices, so we are not playing with the numbers here. We're playing with the indexes here. So what is our next criteria? If array of mid is lesser than target. If it is lesser than target, what do, guys? We basically reinitialize low is equal to mid plus 1. So what are we doing here? Since the array of mid is lesser than the target, we are eliminating the complete left subarray. So before our low used to be 0, that is our first element. Now our low is equal to mid plus 1. So now we are focusing on complete right subarray. We are discarding left subarray. And since now our low is equal to mid plus 1, so we will run back to this loop, and it will come back to the mid element will be the mid element of the new low, that is only of the right subarray. So here we are discarding the left subarray. Sorry guys, it's else if. And then we have another option. What is our last case, guys? That is if array of mid is greater than the target. So what do? So if it is less than the target, we are discarding the left subarray. But then what if it is greater than the target? We'll have to discard the right subarray, right? So we keep low in its initial position, and the high will become the last element in the left subarray. That is mid minus 1. Here what are we doing? We are discarding right subarray. If nothing is found, we return -1. That is an error. So this is basically our function, guys. And now I'll write the main function. we need size because to find the size of the array, and then we'll enter, let's say, enter size of the array, and then let our input be size because that's the variable we've taken here. And now we need an array, right? So now we'll initialize an array of size. Let the size of the array be size, because we already know what the size of the array, so we will just initialize an array that is of the exact size that we need. Let's not waste space here. And then enter how many elements. We know the size, right? So we'll enter size number of elements. And it's very important to know, guys, that it has to be a sorted array. And then we will put in a loop, we will put a for loop, because we'll have to take multiple elements. If it was one element, then I could have just done cin, but then since we have multiple elements, like we don't know the size of the array, right? So those many times we have to run the loop to take the input. So for, let's take I as a variable, and I is equal to 0, I less than size I plus plus. Here the for loop runs the number of times, the same number of times as the sizes. So I will take array of I. And then we still need to find target, guys. So I'll give a variable called target, because these are the variables I've taken here. And array, and size, and in target. So let's use the same variables and target. And so we'll ask the user to enter the target. We'll take the input. We'll take the input, that is target. And then we've taken the target, and now we need to find the result, right? So our final answer will always be an integer, because we are returning the index. So index can never be of any other data type. It will always be an integer. So it will be int result is equal to, we'll call this function now, it is binary. Binary. Our parameters are array, size, and target. So I'll call those only. Array, size, and target. And guys, remember here we had given return -1, right? So we'll write a case for that also. So here, if we'll say, if let's say result is equal to, okay, we'll say if result is not equal to, because that way we can do in a better way, -1, we can say we can print the answer element found at index. And then we can print the result. If not, we can just say element not found. That is our code, guys. Okay, so let's take an example. Let our array size be 10. So I have to enter 10 sorted elements. I'll take from 10, 12, 14, 15, 17, 19, 20, 24, 27, and 29. So it's very important for the array to be sorted, guys. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 elements. And now we need to see our target element. Let's take our target element to be 20. So our answer is supposed to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, our index is found at 6. Our 20 is here. So when you start from 0, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that is our basic binary search code, guys. And then coming back here, now I'll explain this to you in terms of the algorithm itself. So in the algorithm, we first had while low less than or equal to high. We'll find int mid, and then we'll check if array of mid is equal to target. We'll return mid. If array of mid is greater than target, what do we do, guys? If array of mid is greater than target, we will do high is equal to minus 1. If array of mid is less than target, we'll do low is equal to mid plus 1. So we'll take another example here and we'll run it accordingly. I'll just put else if statements everywhere so you don't get confused. So we'll put them in boxes because an array, right? So we'll have to give them indexes. Let our target be 23. So what do we do in the first case? Here our low is equal to 0, high is equal to 4. First we're checking if low is less than or equal to high. 0 is less than or equal to 4, it is true. So we pass this case. And then we find mid. Mid is nothing but low plus high by 2. That is 0 plus 4, 2. That is 2. So 2 is not an element of the element. So in the place of 2, the element is 18. So our array of mid is equal to 18. But then our target is 23, right? Yes. Case 1. Array of 18 is equal to 3. it's wrong. So we go to case 2. If 18 is greater than 20. So our final case is 18 and 23. So when this case new, we need to set new low and high values. So our new low is equal to mid plus 1. Our mid guys 2, right? Say mid, I mean the index. So 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. And our high remains the same. And here when we find the mid of it, we get 3 plus 4, 7 by 2 is equal to 3 only, because in here, right? So here, this is our new low, this is our new high. So we are completely discarding this subarray. So it is just these both here, and our mid element is 3, because since we only have two elements and integer doesn't take the decimal value, so it is 23. So again we have the three cases. If array of mid is equal to target, here 23 is equal to 20, so it is, so we are returning the mid. So what is our mid here? 3. So we are saying that the final answer lays in the index 3, and that is. So now let's talk about the difference. Why I always said binary search is better than linear search. So if the size of the array is less like 10 and all, it doesn't make a very big difference. So the number of steps taken for linear search is 10, and the number of steps taken for binary search is 4. But then if it is 100, there's a major difference between a linear search and binary search. Like there's 7 and there's 100. And 1000 makes like even a bigger impact, like 1010. But million, this is a one when you have 1 million inputs, because when you work with such algorithms in real life, right? So you will always have a very big data set. It's not always writing the lab program with 10 or 20 inputs. You'll have millions and billions of data set where you have to search. So in that case, if you do linear search, no, like it'll take like gpus like months or years to get your final answer if linear search is done. But then if it is binary search, the whole thing happens in just 20 steps. So here we can see, guys, how like important by what kind of an important role binary search plays for us. And then next we have a question. We'll solve a question. So let's discuss what the question is first, right? So the question says search insert position. So given a sorted array of distinct integers and a target value, return the index if the target is found. If not, return the index where it would be if it were inserted in order. Guys, this is based a primary case of binary search, but we have a twist. In binary search, if the int not found, we will return minus. But here they're asking us the index where it would be inserted, and it must be written in O login. So we'll solve the problem first. Before that, I'll give you an example walkthrough, guys. I have the example right here. So I have an array 1, 3, 5, and 6, and my target is 7. So when you think of it, if it's in an ascending order, 7 should come in the last place. So in normal binary search question without the twist, we would always return minus 1. But here we return the index of where 7 has to be found. It is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So our final answer. So what do we do? Initially our left is 0 and this, because this is our initial array. And then mid is 1. Find the mid element. This is 1. And nums of 1 is 3. So that is less than 7, right? So what do? We increase the low value to mid plus 1. Remember, guys, if the element is lesser than target, we always do mid plus 1, because we have left subarray. So our left is equal to 2. So we're basically getting 1 and 3. So after the next step, our left is 2 and right is 3. When you find the mid element, it is 2 itself. And nums of 2 is equal to 5. the element of the index 2 is 5, which is again less than 7. So left is equal to 3, because we are again discarding this. Now what are we doing? Left is 3, right is 3. Because our right has always been 3 from the beginning, because no element has been greater than 7 till now. So we are only changing the values of the left element but not the right element. So the mid element also becomes 3. So what are we doing? Nums of 3 is 6, which is again less than 7. So what do? We also do mid plus 1 in general, right? Here we shouldn't give a case called return minus 1, because in this case it will just give the answer is not found. But then we have to do mid plus 1, because we need to find the position. It says left is equal to 4. Now our left is 4 and right is 3. So this is where we stop, because remember when we have a case where while low less than or equal to high, so that is the case where it fails here. That's why it stops here, guys. So that is where we find our insertion index, that is 4. So now we know that the target 7 goes at the index 4. Solve the question. So we have this. We have other examples also here for 1, 3, 5, and 6. But then here the target is 5. The first target is 5. So we don't have to find where it has to be input, right? So we already have 5 in position 2. So the output will be given 2. But then here in the second position, the second example, we have 1, 3, 5, and 6. We have 1, 3, 5, and 6, right? And our target is 2. So here we don't have the element 2 here, so we need to find the target here, and we are finding it with the solution. And the last one, we just spoke about it. So let us look at the code. It's basically the basic binary search, but there is the one small twist. I'll tell you guys, that is where it has to, like, how are we finding the insertion position. So like we spoke before, what is the first step of binary search, guys? We need to initialize low and high indices. So low is equal to 0. The thing is, before I had taken an input parameter of size. Here we don't have an input parameter of size, so we need to find the size of the array, so that I can initialize the high element. So how do we do that? We can use the function called enums dot size. Enums is the our array name, so it's high. It's always high minus right? So it's num size minus 1 again, while low less than or equal to high. What are we doing here? We are like again putting the variable, checking if low is less than high. So we make sure that there's at least one element present in the array. And what now? So we need to find the mid element, and mid is equal to low plus high minus. Guys, this low plus high minus low by 2 is the same as low plus high by 2, but I'll explain to you guys how this is more efficient, like how this doesn't cause any overflow in some time. Let me finish this. So here we're finding the mid element, right? So what do we do next? We check our three primary cases. That it's very important, guys. Remember the three cases. One is if nums of mid is equal to target. So if it is equal to target, what do? We return mid. Mid is nothing but again the index of the mid element. We're not returning the element itself. And then what is our next primary case? If nums of mid is less than target. I hope you all remember what we saw before of what has to be done if it is less than target or greater than target. Here we'll see what has to be done. So if nums of mid is less than target, what we do? We do low is equal to mid plus 1. And we have another case, we'll just put an else. We don't have to define the case because that's the only one left. Else what is it? High is equal to mid minus 1. Okay, what are we doing guys here? Here we are dis- discarding left subarray. Here we are discarding right subarray. I'm doing it so many times because this is the basic principle of it, and I want all of you to be very thorough with it, guys. Nothing much. And then it closes here, and then the while loop ends here, right? So now this is a very important thing, guys. Now we will return. See, in usual case we return minus 1, right? So this means that the element is not found. But then what we have to do is, if not found, return the index where it would be in order. So here what it basically we are returning, look at this, left is equal to 4, right is equal to 3, so the index is equal to 4. So index is equal to 4, is it the left one or the right one? So the left we have to return, right? So we will do, instead of minus 1 we will return low, because the low element will always hold the position that needs to be inserted. So let's try running the code, guys. Let's just hope it works. Yes, it's working. So I'll take another example and tell you guys why why low holds the correct value. Let me take another example for this particular thing. Or wait, let me take the example in the lead code itself. 1, 3, 5, and 6, and target is 2. 6, target is equal to 2. We'll give index 0, 1, 2, 3. So basically our low is equal to 0, high is equal to 3, and mid is equal to, okay, I'll tell you guys the uh, why I used this, right, instead of low plus 2. It is usually the same, guys, but then sometimes the system might throw an error, but then I'll tell that example here also. I took low plus high minus low by 2, right? So what is our low here? 0. Plus what is our high? 3, minus low is also 0 divided by 2. That is 3 by 2 is equal to 1.5. So discard this 0.5, and our mid element is 1. Mid index is 1 and our mid element is 3. Target is equal to 2, right? So what are we doing? And so again, our three basic principles is 2 equal to, sorry, is 3 equal, is 3 greater than 2, is 3 greater than 2. So we know that 3 is greater than 2. So what do we do? Our height is equal to 1. So we are deleting this complete subarray. So our low is equal to 0, high is equal to, what is our mid here, guys? 1. High is also equal to 0. Now we need to find mid. Mid is also equal to 0. Our mid element is 1. So we need to check our three basic principles again. Is 1 equal to 2? 1 lesser than 2? 1 greater than 2? So 1 is less than 2. 1 is lesser than 2, what do? We increase low. We know that low equal to mid plus 1. That is equal to 0 plus 1, that is equal to 1. So now we have our final answer. So if 2 were to be present in this array, it will be in the first position instead of 3. So our final array will be something like 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. And that is the exact reason why we are returning low and not any other number. So we've almost come to an end, guys. Now I'll talk to you about the time complexities. So there are multiple. The best case in complexity is big O of 1. So when do you guys think the whole process will be over in the first step itself? Let me take an example. 6, 7, 9, 11. So if this is my input and my target is equal to 7, so what do? I first find the middle element. The element here is 7. So this is the best case scenario because we are finding the index. The index is equal to 2. We are finding this answer in one single step. So this is found immediately. So if the mid is equal to the target, it is the best case scenario. Average case is log of n. When do we find log of n, guys? When size of the array reduces by half every time we iterate, we get log n, right? An average case is the best case and worst case. So it is best case, average, worst case. Average case is not like the average of the best or worst case. It can be the any case between the best and worst case. And the worst case is also the same thing because anyway we have to perform the operation how many ever number of times, even if we don't find the uh, target. And space complexity is big O of 1 because we are hardly using any variables. And now let's talk about the real-time applications. Like I think I've already mentioned before, but finding contacts on your phone. We'll talk about finding contacts on your phone. So imagine you need to find the contact of someone from the BMSIT admin, right? So you would have saved their name as BMSIT admin. So what it does is it doesn't like go through every contact from A till Z and find. It will first go to the middle one, so the 13th element, and then we'll check if that element comes after or before B, and then after that it will come back in between. Like let's say, okay, so let's say L is our mid element, so it will first jump to the mid element and check if this is our. So if not, it'll like completely discard everything after this. It only take the left subarray, and then it will find the mid element here. It will check if F comes before or after B. It comes after, right? So it will completely delete this, and then it will come here. It will take C, and it will check if it comes before or after B, and then we'll be left with A or B, and then we'll know B is the final answer. So this step happens in a very quick manner. And the same with dictionary word lookup. Let's take any word like shoes. So shoes comes towards the end of the dictionary, right? So from L, it will check L is the mid element. So it will check if L comes before or after S. If it comes before S, then this part will be deleted and the next part will be considered, and the same loop will be continued. And then another example is like price search and online store, and then database lookup records. So each time you enter an alphabet, it will perform the binary search and it will let us know. So we can play a very small game about it. It's called the number guessing game. So what does this game show? This game is basically shows how binary search works in real life, and it also shows how we cut range into half every guess. So what are we doing in this game is, so we can think of a number, and then the computer will write the program, right, and the computer will guess our number. So we have to tell that if the computer's guess is higher or lower than what our guess was. So we'll quickly play that game. I already have it. So let me take my number to be 68. So if we do 68 in linear search, it will take 68 complete operations, because I am telling think of a number between 1 and 100. No. So starting from 1 till 68, it will take completely 68 operations. So 68, right? So its first guess is my number 50, and then if we have to click on high if their guess is too high, click on L if its guess is too low, and see if its guess is correct. So 50 is lesser than 68, so its guess is too low, so I'll click on L. 75 is greater than 68, so I'll click on high. 62 is less than 68 again, so I'll click on low. 68 is the correct answer, guys. So it's found our answer. So a linear search would have taken 68 iterations for this, while binary search took just 64 iterations for this whole thing. And we've come to the end of this. So if anyone has a doubt, put it in the chat box.
Niharika, there's a question on overflow. Check the chat.
Oh yeah. What is it? At mid, how does it lead to overflow? So for small numbers, it doesn't really make a huge difference. But when you come to large numbers, like 10, like 100,000 or more than that, basically mid can be equal can give you the wrong answers because of overflow of space there. So let me give you an example. I'll write it. So when we take an example of really large numbers, let's say low is equal to something like that, and high is something like 210000000. So our first step will be low plus high, right? So what is happening? Low plus high will be something like 410000. So what happens is there's a data overflow here. So instead of we can do is we can take the normal, like the second one. What we are doing, we're doing low plus minus low by 2. Here, if when we do high minus low, we'll get only this difference, right? So that time we can find what the exact difference, like the exact middle number of this, without having to use a lot of data, without having to find the unwanted data. Sometimes it will give us the garbage values, which we have to be very careful about. It is better if we use the mid value to be the low plus high minus low by 2.